afternoon, welcome. I hope you are doing well. So today I'm going to explain the graded assignment, the second part of Unit 1 test, Basic Tools and Transformation. So let's take a look at the first problem. It says use the figure below to answer the questions. And let's take a look at the first question, which is letter A. Describe in words a sequence of transformation that maps triangle ABC to triangle ABC prime. And then letter B, write order paired rule for each transformation in the sequence. So we reviewed this before. You'll have to go back and take a look at the rules that I shared with you and also the notes. This assignment is worth 25 points. So make sure you take a look at the rubric. And for this, we're going to be taking a look at the rules. Okay, transformation rules. So just by looking at it, the first one on the second quadrant, the one on the left upper side, it doesn't have the primes, which are the little apostrophe. So that means that this one is your pre-image, right? It's the original. Then the one that is dotted, that has the little apostrophes, right? The little lines, that's going to be the image, which is the copy. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to be needing, which you guys are going to be doing as first step, is you're going to give me the coordinates of point A, B, and C of the original pre-image. Okay? And just by looking at it, we can have an idea of what type of transformation we have. Remember the types of transformations? Okay, we have, these are the rules that we reviewed before. Reflections. Okay, remember that reflections, they can be on the x-axis, which is the vertical, and in this case we don't have the figure in this part, right? And remember, when you have a reflection, it's like folding a piece of paper and it would overlap. So we don't have a reflection either on the x, on the y doesn't map, nor on the diagonal y equals x. There's no dilation. They're the same side. So it needs to be a rotation. Okay? And we have the different types of rotation, and we have the rules here. So what the first thing you're going to do is you're going to give me the coordinates of A, B, and C. I'm going to do the first one with you guys. So A, you're going to go to the left 1, 2, 3, and up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be -3, 4. And you're going to take a look at A prime. Okay? So A prime, okay, which is the copy. Here we have it. So it's going to be 1, 2 to the left and 1, 2, 3. So -2, -3. Okay? So we have to take a look at what coincides. So we have the -3 and the -3 on A prime. And they switch the order, right? So we have to take a look at which rule coincides with that. And the 4 and the -2, that means that there's another transformation that happened after that rotation. So there are two transformations that happen. I already helped you guys with this. There is a rotation, and I'm going to explain the rest. So let's take a look at our first example. So we need to have, this is your x. Let me put it here in green. You have x, y, the original. And look, the -3, they put it here, x. And then you have the y. So it looks like you have they switched the value of the x's. They switched the order there. So we need to have x and x. So it cannot be this one because they didn't change the sign. You see -3 and -3, they have the same sign. So it cannot be clockwise. Counterclockwise, look at this one. You have x and x. They switched the order. So it is a 90-degree clockwise rotation. It cannot be 180 because you don't have x and x here, right? So it cannot be. 180 cannot be either, right? It can be a 270 because you have the x and x, and it's actually the same rule. You guys see the 90-degree counterclockwise and the 270 clockwise, because they're gonna be, one is clockwise, the other is counterclockwise, so you're gonna be in the same place when they rotate. In this one, it cannot be. So that means that the rule that I'm going to apply is negative y x. So this is the rule, okay? So let's take a look at it. We have negative 3, 4, and then what they did, the y, which is 4, they changed the sign because it's negative. So it's going to be negative 4, and the x, they left it the same, which is negative 3. And you're going to do the same thing for A, B, and C. This same thing that I'm doing, you're going to do it on your own. Those are the steps that you're going to do. And I'm going to show you how to check your answers on GeoGebra. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, okay, you're going to graph your points. So let's graph point A was negative 3, comma 4. Point B, remember it's the pre-image, negative 3, comma 0. Then point C, it's going to be negative 1 and 3, positive. Okay, so here I have my points, right? I did this so we could label it, and then you can use the tool polygon, which is here, polygon. Or you can start by using the polygon tool, and then it's going to be easier. Then I'm going to be needing, if you go to the top to point, I'm going to graph my center of rotation, which I already have it here, which is point D. Okay, here it is. So that's the only thing you're going to do. And then I'm going to do my rotation here. You're going to scroll down to transform and rotate here around the point. Then it says select object to rotate, which is the triangle, and center point, which is D, and counterclockwise 90 degrees. Okay? And there you go, I already created it. Yes? And another thing, to show the grow lines, make sure you go to the right side corner, show axis and show grid, okay? In case it doesn't show up on your end. And look what happens. It's almost basically the same location, right? So C is bottom, is here on the bottom. This is C prime. Then negative 4, it's A prime. And then we have B. So this is your figure, right? So it looks like there's a translation. Translation is when you move up, down, right, or left. And look at C prime is here when we did the rotation. But there's a translation of how many? 1, 2. Okay, so I already helped you out. So on your own words, you're going to describe everything that I explained here. Okay, I already helped you out that there's a rotation counterclockwise of 90 degrees, and after that there is a translation. They move the figure to the right, but it's your homework to tell me how many, look at this, how many points they moved. That's on your own. I want to see your work for A prime, B prime, and C prime, and also for that translation. Explain it on your own words. And the order pair rule for the transformation is this work, okay, that you're going to do here. I want to see the math. And later it's on your own words. Okay. And I want to see your graphs if you did it. I want to see all your work, the math, the graphs. Okay. And let's take a look at problem number 2. I'm going to erase the rules here. So Alicia is writing the program for a video game. For one part of the game, she uses the rule xy, x minus 3, y plus 4 to move points on the screen. So just by looking at it, you know it's a translation. You move objects either right, left, up, or down. So when it says minus 3 or plus 4, right? So letter A, what output does the rule give you when the input is negative 6, 0? Input, does that mean you're going to substitute? You're going to substitute x on this part with negative 6. So you're going to have x minus 3, comma, y plus 4. So substitute x with negative 6 minus 3. And then y, you're going to substitute with 0. 0 plus 4. Negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. 0 plus 4 is 4. And that's it. I showed my work. You're going to do the same thing for letter B with negative 3, 4. And letter C, you're going to investigate. What is a function? based on that investigation, which we're reviewing class, you're going to tell me, is this rule a function? Why or why not? So go back to your notes. If you don't remember, go ahead and investigate. And I want all your work, please. I don't want just the answer. And the last part, answer the questions by drawing on the coordinate plane below. So you have the figure, the triangle, PQR. So you're going to draw the image, the copy with prime after a rotation of 180 about the origin. So you're going to go back to your rules. Here you have them, right? Rotation of 180, right? Here you have it, of 180. Okay, we're going to use the clockwise. Yes? And you have 180. The formula is x, y, and negative x, negative y. Okay? And then this is for letter A. Okay, and for letter B, reflection across the x-axis. So you're going to use a reflection. You're going to go to the top, reflection across the x. Here you have it, right? X, negative y. So x-axis, you're going to have x, y, x, negative y. Okay? So those are the rules you're going to be needing. And you're going to draw them. So the 180 is clockwise. So that means that you're going to give me the coordinates of P, Q, and R. And you're going to apply this formula, okay? That means negative x, negative y, the only thing you're going to do, you're going to change the signs. For example, P, 1, negative 1. So 1, negative 1. If I apply this one, negative x, negative y, so that means that my P prime is going to be negative 1, 1. Why? Because you changed the sign. The 1 on x is positive, I change it to negative. The negative 1 on y is negative, I change it to positive. You're going to do the same thing for Q and R, and you're going to graph it. So I want for you guys to graph it here. I should see 2 other graphs, or you can use Geogebra for this, okay? And then you're going to have another graph for the x-axis. So you're going to have your P, your Q, your R. For P, you know it's 1, negative 1. So here, look what happens here. X stays the same. So P prime, 1. And they change the sign of Y. Okay, so if it's negative, you switch it to positive. It's positive to negative. So I have a negative 1. Negative times negative is positive. And you're going to do the same thing for Q and R. Okay? So I should see 2 graphs. I should see your work here demonstrating me how you applied the formula for each one of them. Not just the answer. No, I want to see your work and the 2 graphs. And make sure you use your notes and the formulas for this. I want to see your graph, your work for number 2 and also for number 1. So if you want to have any questions, please let me know. Have a wonderful day.